2013 at 9 a.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. Commissioner Gower?
Here.
Commissioner Rosales?
Here.
Judge Shaw's here. Commissioner Dudnick?
Here.
Commissioner Schindel?
Here.
Please stand and join us in opening prayer as we stand in closing recess.
Dear Lord, please take care of our military wherever they may be. Please bring them home safely to their families. Please help us with the decisions we're about to make with the county to better the county and the citizens, to help the citizens. And please take care of all the people.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens to be heard.
There's two-parter.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. I have two handouts. One, and this is primarily, I would like to address what will happen next year, this same time next year. And I would like for you all to keep in mind a few very basic facts here that we will again be addressing next year at the same time. And one of the things I would like to say is that one of the reasons we're in this position is because of the truth in taxation regulations that back before Eagle Ford, they assumed that an increase in appraised value did not necessarily reflect an increase in the demand on the county for support. But nowadays, when our appraised values double, that's not just appraised value. Every dollar reflects increases that a new oil well. And you know all the services that are required when you increase the oil wells and you have all the additional traffic, all the additional people. So in the old days, increase in appraised value did not increase the amount of services required. Nowadays, it does. So in the old days, when your appraised value went up, it kind of made sense that your tax rate should go down. But nowadays, when it goes up, our tax rate needs to at least go up or stay the same so that we can provide the services that are required as a result of all the new infrastructure. So all I'm saying is let's keep that in mind next year. And when the appraised value goes up, don't say, no, my taxes should go down by that amount. Because the appraised, for one thing, real estate is only 7% of the entire tax appraised value. Real estate, 7%. And real estate only increased 13%. Our real estate appraised values did not double. They went up 13%, and that's probably due to some new houses and some money put in. So to wrap things up, next year, when you are all faced with these same decisions, all you have to do is post a notice in the paper. Thank you, Joe. That says at the very least, you would like to keep the same tax rate and not go down. But whatever it is you can justify, start working on it in April or in May, and you can get an estimate of what the tax base is going to be in April or May. It won't be the official, but it'll be close, and then you can make your decisions. But we do not have to be a victim of the oil company's formula creation by going all the way down to the effective rollback rate. We can set it higher, and we need to set it higher. Next year,
This year, you want to leave it at 0.29.
well, I understand.
That's what you wanted to do.
Oh, I wanted to
Same.
do that.
It's at the same.
I've been suggesting
Yes.
to do that, but I realize it's too late now to do that. I see what's on the agenda. But next year, I say, please, we don't have to go down to the effective rate. And there's good reasons to not go down to the effective or the rollback rate. And next year, all five of you will be here. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Sue.
Brenda Orsolak. I just wanted to comment real quickly on one of the positions that was just created in this budget, which is the sign makers position. And one of you guys realize that we're paying somebody to make signs, $13 an hour. When several of us have much more needs than that. And as part of it, we're going to do the signs and we're not. Even our families. We've got legal issues to do, we've got safety issues to do, we've got legislative issues to do, and we make less. We're jumping into these jobs, we've driven ourselves, and we're not making this issue. And this is at least one of two positions that are brand new, and they're going to be starting above the rest of them. It's not something.
What do you think? What do you think they should make?
I have to put this on the list of the rest of this are below that.
Just before you get off, just 1 second. Chase, on the sign makers, are they just gonna be building signs, or are they gonna be actually the ones that are out there on the roads installing? They're gonna be the,
That's what I understand.
So
Is that right, Ronnie?
is that what's gonna,
It's one of our regular employees. I'm just moving him from one category to another because he has computer skills and that machine's computer operated.
okay, and
But
they're-
he will continue posting the signs, erecting signposts and doing work out on the roads.
you're just giving them a different title?
I'm just actually adding more responsibility and a different time, yes.
And he's a regular employee?
Yes, sir.
What was he making before?
He would be making the same salary if he were installing signs that we purchase.
Okay, I didn't know, that's why I'm asking, I asked you if he can stay, I wasn't sure.
If we go out and buy the signs, he's still gonna draw that salary.
He's still gonna draw that
Yes,
salary? Did you just put that title on him?
Yes,
But he's
sir.
gonna be out there digging the holes, mixing concrete, pouring
Yes, sir.
them, dipping everything, doing the whole 9 yards?
Exactly,
It's not just sitting there building signs?
that's correct.
I wasn't sure, ma'am, that's why I was asking him while you were still there. So, okay.
Okay, I realize that you got to put some concrete together and set those.
I
You're
didn't,
gonna be out there in the summer, yeah, it's not gonna be all that fun, but we've got to deal with computer programs too, that put the roads together, we've got to make sure that we're doing these actions. All this stuff, and we're promoting.
thank you, ma'am, very, very much. Thanks, Ronnie.
Could you kind of repeat that, because we really couldn't hear everything she was saying?
Repeat what, ma'am?
Okay, what was she trying to get at about the signs and everything?
Got a guy in Road and Bridge, they're, I guess, changing titles, and he's gonna be the sign maker, but she said that he shouldn't be making the 13, what was it? 13.05 an hour.
We have to make signs in our department too, we're doing them by hand, and that's just the small part of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And on item number 6, is that it, Councilmember Simpson? That's it. On item number 6, we consider an action on the authorization of issuance of bonds. Tom Holland's our bond counsel, that's Tom Holland right there. And we do not have everything ready for that, is that correct? So on items 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, we are going to have to recess after we do everything else and come back and finish those.
So which numbers?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yes, we'll come back at 1:30. You think, Tom, we can have it? So we're going to move to item number 13, which is to approve an invoice in the amount of $1,964.25 for additional costs related to excavation of impacted soils at Building A, Karnes County Jail. And that's the cost proposal from 513 from Green Environmental. Yes,
That's the one that was estimated at $4,000 or some amount, and it came back with a lower price. We couldn't approve it last time. We all agreed that to be back on the agenda. I'll make a motion to approve that. Item number 13.
I'll second it as presented.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda is approved TSI Laboratories geotechnical investigation proposal for Karnes County EMS building in the amount of $2,250. What Lorraine has on here is on June 28th, the agenda item number 10 for the Karnes County Commissioners Court approved allowing the architect to order a geotech for the existing EMS road bridge site The fee proposed for TSI Laboratories is $2,250 and is being submitted for approval at this Commissioners Court meeting. If you look, I think you'll look right now. Let's just go to this one. No, so she's just asking for that approval to get TSI to do the geotech.
Make the motion to approve item number 14 is presented.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda is consider disapprove the proclamation declaring the month of October as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelter, and that's Jennifer. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm how are you? Morning, Christians. Would you like me to read the proclamation?
If you'd like to.
Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security and humanity, due to systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. Whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, and societal barriers and are supported by societal indifferences. And whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole here in this community, throughout the United States and the world. And whereas women are not the only targets, young children and the elderly also are victims, and sadly, emotional scars are often permanent. And domestic violence costs United States companies at least $3.5 billion in lost work time, increased healthcare costs, higher turnover, and lower productivity. And whereas it is battered women themselves who have been in the forefront of efforts to bring peace and equality to the home. Now therefore we do proclaim the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and call all citizens, community agencies, religious organizations, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our effort to prevent domestic violence, thereby strengthening the communities in which we live.
Thank you. I'll make the motion for item number 15 as presented to approve. Thank you, Madam.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Can you pass that down? The next item, number 16 on the agenda, is consider approve designating the second Tuesday and last other than December on which courts will convene in regular terms each month pursuant to local government code 81005A. October fiscal year counties must designate day of the week on which court will convene in the regular term. And I put on there, please see Exhibit A. It seems like every time we try to type these out, we end up with something that's not right. So I put the 2014 calendar on there, and we did the second the second Tuesday and the last working day of each month, other than December. And on December, I put the last meeting in the middle of the week prior to the week before Christmas.
Last day of the 31st.
Yeah.
Usually everything.
The holidays are there, so we just put it in.
Shelby, you
the
didn't
center.
shoot a cannon down the hall and hit me.
I think the last day of the month is the last day of the month.
We can do it then if you want to. Just let me know.
You got bill, so you're wanting to meet twice in December, is that what you're saying? Or just once in December? Okay. Normally, that's just the middle of the month.
What we usually do by is then I'll tell them.
Oh, I know what we normally do, I've been here long enough to know what we normally do. No, it's not. It's not.
So,
It's usually once in December that we meet, right? And we usually try to put it for the middle of the month, so if bills come in or something like that, we can take care of
what
it.
we're doing the bills, that's my only concern.
Yeah.
We usually try to get it maybe the middle or maybe a couple of days afterwards, so we can catch everyone within
We
that
normally
time.
do it the week before Christmas so that we can have the majority of the bills in.
Right. That's how we've always normally done it. Unless y'all want to change it, you know?
Because we usually end up doing having some type of special meeting to pay a bill or an outside bill or a bill that's coming in or something. It's whatever y'all want to do.
I don't think we've ever had a problem with just once in December, in the middle of December, we take care of everything.
So you just want to scratch off the 9th and have the 17th?
That's what I would say, but it's up to y'all guys too.
So the government don't stop on 31st? closed, is that a holiday, or we gonna be closed that day, or what?
No, we always work the
When
31st.
is that?
We always work the 31st. We're closed on the, what is the 31st? A Thursday? Yeah, we don't close on the 1st. We don't close on the 31st.
Early on, I don't care who we do it, just so we can take care of our obligations.
Thursday is the week. Yeah, we work that day.
Guys, it's up to y'all, I mean, if I wanna do something different, that's fine.
17?
That's what I said, but I mean, it's up to y'all.
Whatever y'all done in the past, I don't know.
17,
So scratch the 9th on December.
keep it 17, every other one is next week. I make the motion to approve item number 16 as presented, except scratching out December 9th.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Remember, next item on the agenda is discussion action for the sheriff's and constable's 2014 fees listed pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 198.161 for effective January 1st, 2014.
What are fees that are recently budgeted, they gotta be approved March first? Most of them obviously, December, we have to present the commissioner's report.
Did you make any changes?
The only thing that make changes is on the service fees, as far as the mug shots, the price reports, the picture on this. And what I did is I went with, I compared them to DeWitt, Gonzalez, and Escosa.
Yes.
Item number 17, make the motion, I make the motion to accept item number 17 as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
I'm supposed to report those.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove, setting up a FedEx drop box at the annex on the 210 West Calvin, Karnes City, and approve the Loudoun County Judge execute the required document. Shelby.
I was approached by the district clerk's office that there was a need, they felt, for everybody to be using this building to have a FedEx drop box set up. We notified FedEx, they sent us a contract that was online, and I'm just asking that we be able to judge it, allow her to once we get the contract filled out, let her execute it, and we have to put the drop box in there for the county, and up to land people, plus we give a FedEx people in Karnes County. People in Karnes County have a FedEx drop box, but I'm not aware if there's any other drop box inside Karnes City. There's one in Kennedy. So to be here in the courthouse, we just actually does have a place where we want to put it. We have a mailbox here, correct? Be inside for the mail, by the mailbox. So just something I think that the citizens could use as well as people here within the courthouse to
I make a motion to approve item 18 as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove payment to Texas Regional EMS. Invoice number 10 in the amount of $2,166.67 for services rendered 8/27/13 from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 9/11/13 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 20 is to discuss, approve, disapprove amending the budget for an unforeseen and emergency circumstance to allow payment to Texas Regional EMS for invoice number 10. All in favor?
That motion should say to amend the budget.
I'll make a motion to amend the budget.
Can you say number 20 is written, please?
Number 20 is written.
Same. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 21 is to discuss, approve, disapprove reimbursement to Shelby Duke for expenses incurred due to the attendance of the tax legislative session 8/28 to 8/29 in Austin for $582.53.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 21 as presented.
All right, but I went to this legislative seminar, I did not know that there was no money to cover the travel and attending that meeting. So that was my fault, I guess, but I didn't know. So I'm gonna ask y'all to take no action. I just need that $582.
Oh, because we're gonna have to amend it.
Yeah, we'll have to amend the budget, that's not a,
Do we have to amend the budget or can we move it somewhere else? Because I have money in my conference line item and I think we can take it out of there and put it in yours.
that's not the commissioner's thing. I just don't wanna, just let it ride like that. I'll eat that one. I ain't gonna ride. It's something I choose to go to for, because of the legislative update and stuff. But it wasn't enough money in the thing. We understand, Luana, you said I've eaten up James's and everybody else's because I go more than other commissioners do. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I asked y'all to take no action.
All right, I do want to make a statement that it is necessary someone go to these legislative things to keep up with what's happening. But I think it should be paid for on the particular system.
Or can we move that from my conference expense to his?
Just amend the budget like you're trying to do.
Well, I don't want to take it from unencumbered funds. Can we not just move it from mine?
I'd rather y'all take no action.
Hard-headed.
I'm hard-headed, yeah, I'm very hard-headed. You have to see me be hard-headed, but I'm very hard-headed. I ask God to do it right. I appreciate the effort and everything, but it's not gonna break me.
Those are your wishes.
I mean, it's my own fault. I should have checked before I go. It was toward the end of the budget year.
So pass number 22.
Yeah.
Number 23 is discuss, approve, disapprove payment to Whirling Associates in the amount of $20,800 adequate funds during the fiscal year 2013 budget. The results provided to the county of the salary survey are not accurate due to erroneous information provided to the surveyors.
As y'all know, I was part of the salary survey that was done, and one got the QR for this.
The reason I want it on there is because I want the court to take formal action to pay that bill since the results were not accurate. I was not able to get a copy of the proposal. I just have a copy of the contract page, which does not state any terms as far as his obligation to redo, correct the numbers that he previously submitted with correct information, as well as further explain his minimum, mid, and maximum points and his longevity calculations, because like I said before, those weren't included on every position.
What did we pay? I'm sorry.
He did send me Friday, I think it was. Sent me job descriptions for the jobs, yeah, description.
What did we pay?
I think we paid
6,000.
5,200, 5,800, something like that.
Maybe 52 or 58. But that, we didn't use none of his information or anything because that's when it came in inaccurate. And he hasn't came back by for any explanations. He hasn't spoke with anyone. Has he spoke with you, Judge?
He sent me job descriptions. Friday. Richard Person did.
Is there a copy of that proposal? Because I didn't get one to finish the minutes. I got the last page, and had the signatures, but no proposal.
Anything I signed, I handed Joe over in here.
But there was just one page. There should, that was page 14. I don't know where the first 13 pages are.
My opinion, guys, and I'm just gonna speak out loud here, Herb, can you hear me? Okay, my opinion is that if somebody would have told me that I was inaccurate on something, I would have been up here front and center and trying to correct myself. He hasn't called me or asked me if he could get put back on the agenda. I don't know if he's called y'all or anything. Herb, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's legal, but I don't see where I would vote to pay for this yet, or until he would come over here front and center and explain what happened. I'm not gonna vote to pay for $20,800 on something we didn't even use, and the county, we're saying that it's inaccurate. He should have an explanation for that.
Finish the job.
Well,
In my opinion.
Well, I think we need to pay, but he did provide a survey, and it states here as, or not accurate due to erroneous information provided to the surveyor. So is it our fault? I don't know.
But he didn't come in front and center and tell us that the information was wrong, or if it was right. He didn't give our people a chance to defend themselves either. He's writing this here in order. I mean, he's saying that we gave him wrong information, our people gave him wrong information, but I don't see him right there in the front backing this up, so I'm not gonna pay him. Not yet. I'm not saying I'm not gonna pay him her at all, but you know what I mean? By that word right there, he's saying that we gave him wrong information, but how did we know? We're not, did we give him wrong information? No?
The only thing that we did probably shouldn't have happened was when I went and did the hourly salary on people, I asked Luana if we should include the uniform allowance on the deputies, and he said yes. She said yes, and we probably should not have done that because your uniform isn't part of your salary. But that only affected 25, 30 people out of all the other people. That's probably the only thing. And he has this formula that he claims that he has. All he had to do was take out that $600 a year, plug in the correct dollar amount, and it should have been able to do it. But I think what Luana was saying, and I haven't read all of it, he didn't follow through on everybody with what he said, the 2.5% plus the 1.5 for longevity. He only did it on certain people. He was giving part-time people the same amount as full-time people. Well, he didn't explain himself. I mean, there's too many questions that we need to answer, and I don't know why he has a problem with coming here and answering those questions to us. And, you know, Richard Percy sending you the job descriptions the day before the job descriptions don't help us any. We needed those 2 or 3 months ago when we could have corrected them.
Like you said, I don't have a problem with paying someone that does the job. If he comes over and explains
Explain
himself to us,
himself,
and he does, and it's exactly what he said in his proposal, his contract, there's not a problem with that, but, I mean, it's hard for me to dish out 20 grand just like that.
Well, and even with the email that I sent him after the original presentation, he never emailed me back with explanations to my questions.
Oh, he never got back with you with that?
The only thing that I'm gonna say is that he did come down here like twice. He met with all the elected officials. We selected a committee, we selected everything. And Scott Kimball told me that he was extremely happy with the results that were provided. He thought that it was done professionally and adequately. And then I talked to the other people in the salary survey study. I talked to Mr. Hudson. I talked to all of them. They thought it was all fair. They did not see anything done wrong. Homer Law, the only thing that they said is they couldn't figure out why we were just all trying to raise salaries after a salary survey was done at 2.5%, then came through. And, you know, we're giving everybody higher rates. I don't
But
think.
did the salary committee analyze the results to see that longevity wasn't included for everybody and that there was not consistency across the board? I doubt it.
Well, I think Dr. Worthing did do his job. I think we chose to check the results because we weren't happy with them.
I would want to see a copy of the proposal before paying it. What did you promise for that money?
Is there, in my opinion, there's not a problem, I'm sure there's not, but I'm asking you, our legal counsel, on holding off on this until he comes over here and presents himself here in front of us. That's what I would want, guys. I don't know, it's up to y'all too. So I already
I'll make a
said my
motion
piece.
to go ahead and pay the bills and move on about this and take no action, whatever y'all want to do, but I'll make a motion that we pay his bill, because we need a contract with him to do a service.
I second it. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Any
I
opposed?
oppose. Sorry, I was dumbfounded there for a
Okay,
minute.
who approved it? I approved it.
You, the judge, and Pete.
Tracy, what'd you do?
Well, he pays the bill,
Tracy, so motion carries 4-0, James opposed. 4-1, excuse me. I did not do that on purpose. Number 24, discuss, approve, disapprove amendment to the commercial electricity service agreement with direct entity to the Iowa Electric Meter located at 707 West Main Kennedy. That's the EMS building, to the current contract, and allow the county judge to execute such amendment.
That it's just so it can be included in our gas or our TASB contract for lower electrical rates.
I move that we approve the number 24 as presented.
I'll second it.
Number 25 is to discuss and set
You
terms.
want to vote on that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 25 is to discuss, accept terms with Ball City National Bank for the depository contract. Bye.
And I know y'all don't have time to approve this today, but I'm just gonna put it back on the agenda for the next meeting. He doesn't have, this is just a summary of what Gerald and Lillian and I talked about on Friday. Basically, everything's gonna stay the same, except they're now gonna charge us for checks. the temporary checks that we use, like for the juvenile accounts or some accounts that we only write checks like twice a month for payroll. The temporary checks, they're going to continue doing that with us. They didn't have a problem with that, like our accounts payable and our payroll clearing account checks. They're going to ask us to start paying for those. So when I was texting Luana after the meeting, she asked for a dollar amount, and I threw a $4,000 figure at her. And I think yesterday I came up with probably about $3,000 a year that we're going to have to pay on the checks. The CDs, 0.3. On anything over $100,000 for 32 days or more, they're using the jumbo rate on that. All the other services, the free bank bags, the overdraft protection. If we have to do a stop payment on a check because somebody claims they didn't do it, usually it's a $20 fee. We kind of just stale date it, and they don't charge us on that. The biggest complaint that they had, and the one I had to work on this, is when we do accounts payable, we have a spreadsheet that we do for each account that funds the accounts payable account, and they're wanting us to quit doing so many transfers by fax. If we do a bill that should have been paid to somebody, we have to take it out of the APCA account and put it back into the account that it came into. So we send them like one fax with one little transfer on there. They have to go back to the fax machine, make the transfer, go back to us. They're really complaining about that. They do online banking, but I have an issue with that, because anybody that has a bank account or the tax ID for the county, which county clerk, district clerk, the tax office, I would be able to view those accounts. And the one I would probably be the only one that should have passwords to those, and it just suscepts us to too much liability by allowing us to have access to everybody's accounts when I don't usually not do that. But so her and I are going to have to sit down and figure out a solution that's going to make the bank happy. And right now, I don't know what that would be. Yeah.
Still going to have the same problem if we actually write the checks.
Yes, it's going to be the same thing. So, but other than that, that's the terms. He is going to put on the form for us for you to sign at the next meeting, but that's basically what he wants us to do on that.
Did we get all those little accounts closed if you wanted, or merged?
We are slowly closing those accounts, and I don't see Denise. Oh, yeah. He does not have a problem. She has a big receivership case right now. He will accept that account. He knows she's working on the tax accounts. They're slowly closing those, and she has been, any new tax account, she has been putting
One account.
on one account. So she is working on that. Yes, so he was happy with that. So but there's a big receivership case that she has right now that needs to go in the bank. And he's going to be able to accept that.
Okay. So this is all the changes he wants to make by, and then we'll just bring it back?
Yeah, he's going to put that form,
I got you.
then he'll put that on there.
Thank you. Number 26 is payment of bills.
On page 1, the first section includes payments on the courthouse restoration of $154,156.44, and on the jail project, expenses of $152,429.90. On page 2, you will notice that the Whirling and Associates bill is included in this cycle. I just wanted the formal action on record by the court. On page 4, about a third of the way from the bottom, is the payment to Texas Regional EMS that y'all previously amended for in this particular meeting. Page 10. First section, subtotaled at $105,779.87 is material expenses associated with the road bond that will come out of the $1 million that we're fixing to sell. Reimbursement to the account.
see on this board NASA on page 1, that only $13,678 got in that legal fee for that contract. Was it not 18,000?
They had misbilled, we caught it, we called them, they
Okay.
corrected the invoice. Total payment this cycle is $588,052.99.
Did you not get my office?
Just Regina did.
I know Shelby walked back over there, but I said, oh.
I never heard about the board meetings.
No, I had the envelope, and I sent it over there, so that's why I couldn't find Herb's office that day, I had to print it off his email.
Herb brought over copies on Wednesday because Shelby approved them that same day for them. So,
But my office super bills are in the clerk accounts.
well, if it came in on Wednesday, that was actually the
Not that one, the original envelope, when I asked Tito, when I looked at that envelope the other day, he said I'd already sent it to him, when I sent bills with Gina that first
So
one.
obviously it wasn't there in time. So,
There, they were there.
One on the sheriff's department, why is there a U.S. prisoner transport cost associated with the sheriff's office?
they contracted with a transport company to move the prisoner.
One? I'm just asking, because I know that it's in, I guess it's transport, I mean, I was wondering why I've been used. I gotta say one thing on the road, just so everybody knows on the road material, Ronnie's got his girl, Alma, her clerk over there. She's tracking the cost of the bond roads daily, so there's a good cost versus, how much they're putting where on what road and how they're actually, cost per ton and the transportation cost. We've got a detailed cost record on the road. I move to pay the bill.
Second.
And then we're not gonna be able to adjourn, we can discuss the one. All in favor? Any opposed?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pay him with the exception of paying the $20,800.
Okay. Motion carries 4-5-0 with the exception of James and Roland. The next item we need to recess to 1:30.
1:30. I move recess to 1:30.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you.